I survived a scare in that last matchup. I was going up against a guy, mostly bronze team. He had a couple of good shooters. And I'm going up against another bronze team. That last game, I had to fight my way just to make it to overtime to win. Is this game going to be more of the same? We'll find out. But what I want to talk to you about, particularly for this game, and what I think it highlights, is the importance of having a good set of rebounders. I've got great rebounders. I've got Bill Russell out there. He's well into the 90s for his rebounding ability. And Sean Kemp, he's got a 93 offensive and defensive rebound. Couple that with both of the athleticism attributes of the players, and you'll find that you're going to get a ton of boards with those guys over other maybe less effective rebounders. And Bill Russell's also got a signature skill on him. It's a new signature skill this year, the silver tenacious rebounder, and I think that gives him a lot of oomph when it comes to getting those boards. Now let's talk about some of the other guys that you'll find getting boards. Well, modern day players, Dwight Howard. D12 is going to get tons of boards, and it's because he's not only a high rebound rating kind of guy, but he's got great athleticism. And when you're evaluating a guy based off his rebound capabilities, you need to look beyond the offensive and defensive rebound ratings. You need to go further and look at the athleticism attributes. And what I'm talking about are the vertical, the hands, and the quickness. And if you combine those, and you'll get a better idea of what a guy's rebounding potential is. So let's talk about Lebron. LeBron is a great rebounder for his position because he's quicker, faster, he's got more agility, and he's got a better vertical than other guys at his position. He's also got a good rebounding rating on top of all that. But you can have a guy with rebound ratings in the 90s, but if he can't jump, he's not going to get boards. Another reason why rebounding is important this year, especially for athletic guys, is it's not nearly as scripted as it was last year. So last year, if you played this game enough, you would notice that after a certain amount of shots, you could just tell from the way that the trajectory of the ball came off the shooter's hand where that rebound was going. You could look directly at the matchup, where the location on that court that ball was going to fall, and tell based off a brief knowledge of the rankings who is going to come down with that board. This year it's not nearly as scripted. The ball bounces in different ways, and the rebounding is an actual fight, and you'll see the loose hands kind of come into play. You'll see guys pull rebounds out of other players' hands when they previously had them. Now that's not new this year, but it's definitely much more realistic, I believe. The other thing is, when you have guys that you're going up against who shoot tons of three-pointers, those rebounds are not going to fall directly under the basket. They're usually going to bounce back, halfway between the hoop and the arc. So that's why it's really important to go after those rebounds. So getting a guy that's athletic as well as a capable rebounder is going to help you out. And one of my secret weapons is actually Mitch Richmond. Mitch Richmond is a great rebounder for the shooting guard position, which is another reason to use him. I actually used him at the small forward position last year because I couldn't get any good small forwards. And with his athleticism and the fact that he's going up against other shooting guards or maybe even small forwards, he's going to pull down some boards. And every board counts. I mean, when you're going up against a three-point shooting team, if you can take away their ability to get an offensive rebound and potentially a second shot off, you're just increasing the number of possessions you get. You're increasing your chance to win the game. And that's what it's all about. You want to win, and you need to get those rebounds. Well, last year, I thought it was a lot more scripted. Those rebounds were kind of predetermined just based off the shooting and the lineups out there. This year, it's totally different. So you'll see in this game, I'm going to get a ton of boards. And while this guy is a three-point shooting team and he's going to give me some fits early on, eventually my big men are going to take over. And the mismatches are pretty incredible. Bill Russell and Sean Kemp sometimes are going to have two offensive rebounds in the same possession for me this game, and they're just going to pass it back and forth. And anybody can go out there with their bronze starter pack and take Thabo Sefolosha and become the next Ray Allen and just rain threes all day long, like one of the greatest three-point shooters in NBA history, like Del Curry from last year. But it becomes very difficult to be an effective rebounder in this game, much less to get one. You need to get a guy that can get boards. You may not have D12, you may not have Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain, which is understandable. But what you don't want to do is put somebody in there who can't get boards effectively. Last year, Shaq had great rebounding capabilities. However, and you can see that put back there by D12, just much more of a testament to the importance of rebounds. If you had Shaq last year, would have known that he was very sluggish and he had a great difficulty getting boards back, and he would get out rebounded by guys that were more athletic. A lot of people put LeBron James at the power forward position last year. Other guys that could, jump further and higher than him would get those boards, and Shaq pretty much, even though he had high offensive and defensive rebound ratings, would yield a lot of boards up to the other team. It was difficult getting 10 boards in a game with him last year. This year, I don't know what Shaq plays like. I can only speak for the guys that I have, but rebounding ability is so much more important, especially in these earlier seeds when you're going up against guys that jack three-pointers up left and right. I gotta admire my opponent in this match. I'm giving a pretty good whooping, going both inside and outside. It's a total mismatch, and he stuck with it, so gotta give him props for that. I'm also trying to work a better passing strategy. You can see he's getting a good job of getting into passing lanes and jamming things up. I get another offensive board there with Dwight Howard, and that works out. Another point for me. And if you have the ability to out-rebound your opponent over time, as long as you're not screwing away the shooting, you're going to win the game. And Shawn Kemp is even a better rebounder for me this year. He does all kinds of moves there. Just a post fade. Bill Russell picks up the offensive board, and he gets the putback. So those twin towers have something going on. And anybody that's serious about playing this game and getting to a higher level, you need to have guys. They don't need to be in your starting lineup. They can be coming off the bench. But you need to have guys that can rebound the ball and get putbacks for you. As this clock winds down, you can see I'm well on my way to getting my 4th win here in the 7th seed. I consider this game a little less challenging than the last one, which was very challenging, although I think it was helped out tremendously by the fact that I eliminated most of my turnover errors. I was smarter with my passes, so clearly that all players meeting had a lot of effect on the way my team plays. And as the clock winds down, you can see Mitch Richmond is going to start doing a sprinkler maneuver, and we're just celebrating before the clock even hit 0. So I thought all in all it was a good win. I have one more win to take me to the next seed, and I've been working on some of the additional moves with my players in the schedule mode, trying to get some post moves out of Shawn Kemp, trying to get some dribble moves out of Kyrie, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to try and bust out some of those new moves in my next video. I'm also looking forward to moving on to a higher seed, because I'll be honest with you, while I do enjoy the challenge of trying to stop the three-point shot coming from these all-bronze teams, I think I'm starting to get a handle on it, and I'd like to see some better competition. No disrespect to these players, but I really feel like I've got what it takes to go up against the likes of Jordan and some of the other great goal legends out there. I mean, let's face it, I've got a pretty terrific team myself. I've got, one of the best players of all time, Bill Russell. I've got Wilt Chamberlain, and he's not even on my team right now because of I had so many options that I've got available to me. Looking at my team, it wasn't a perfect performance by any means, but you could see it was a contribution across the board. And I'll have 10 rebounds again with Bill Russell and 7 assists from Kyrie. There was no real dominant score that game. Looking at the overall team stats, you'll see that I pretty much had a clean sweep here. The only thing I didn't lead was in three-point shooting, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. And I am now 4 wins into the 7th seed. I've got 1 win remaining. This took me a lot longer than I thought. I had a clean sweep in the 8th seed, which is pretty easy. I had that initial scare in the 9th seed, but I'm really looking forward to moving on in my next matchup. And I'm tired of playing all these extra games. So thanks for watching my video.